chief police officer asked me if I knew what offense I had committed. I wondered what the offense was and replied I had not committed any offense. Then they brought a man in as an interpreter who told me in English language that a lady had just accused me of sexual assault and the punishment was jail and I should be ready to go to jail.
Today, my people, I have one of the most shocking stories I've heard on Nigerian travel experiences. On April 30th, 2024, a Nigerian man who runs a pilgrimage company was traveling Egypt Air, transiting at Cairo International Airport with Egypt Air en route to Amman. He was traveling with 24 other passengers, and what he experienced was nothing short of horrific. Something I would not wish on any Nigerian traveler. I personally have heard numerous feedbacks about many Nigerian and African travelers' experiences navigating Cairo International Airport whilst traveling with Egypt Air. And many of my followers on Instagram, whenever I share a travel deal about Fly Egypt Air is very cheap, there is always an overwhelming response of negative feedback. I would love to know, have you flown Egypt Air before? What has your experience been navigating Cairo International Airport or navigating officials at the airport? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Whether it's positive or negative, I think it's important that we start sharing the stories. As an African content creator, I believe it's my personal duty to truly amplify the experiences shared by Nigerians and Africans in general navigating travel across the world. My hope is to bring these issues to light so that the government, Nigerian government, and also the Egyptian government takes notice and works to resolve them, ensuring that other Nigerians and Africans do not meet the same fate. I'm also sharing this video in particular to new travelers that might be flying for the first time and navigating for the first time on what to do and what not to do if they ever find themselves in such similar situations. In today's video, I'll be sharing the man's full story, his narration, and I'll be infusing my own thoughts and insights whilst we watch the video. I'll try my best to let the story speak for itself so I don't interject at too many points, but I'll also highlight valuable lessons that I believe Nigerian and African travelers can learn from this story. If it's your first time here, I'm Sassy Funke and I create content here to help Africans navigate travel better and smarter. Give this video a like if you like content like this and subscribe for more. Let's dive into the story.
Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. Israel Christley, Senior Pastor of Shepherd Baptist Church, Obaniporo, Lagos, Nigeria, the CEO of Oasis of Faith Intercontinental Limited, that is a private Christian pilgrimage company, and the President of Christian Tourism Practitioners Association of Nigeria, CTPAN. That is the umbrella body for all private pilgrimage operators in Nigeria. I want to spare me just a few minutes to watch this video. If you are a traveler who carries a Nigerian passport, or if you have someone close to you who travels with a Nigerian passport. I had a very traumatic experience at Cairo International Airport recently on April 30, 2024, and I need to share this with you. I left Lagos to Amman through Egypt Airlines with a group of 20 pilgrims, and we had a stopover for 4 hours in Cairo before we boarded the second leg from Cairo to Amman. I took all my pilgrims to our connecting gate, H2, around 9 p.m. And having set 26 of them there, myself and another woman who were on the trip, who were flying business class, left for the business class lounge. We were in that lounge until 1 hour before our next flight, when I told her to let us go back to the gate, since I saw the notification that the gate of our connecting flight was open. When we arrived, I saw the pilgrims seated and not going through the gate security checks. I asked them why, and they replied that they tried to, but were asked to go back and sit down and allow others to go through the check first. I then went to the counter and asked a young man I saw there if they were not attending to our non-passengers yet. And he confirmed that they were already doing that. So I told all the pilgrims to rise up and let us go through the gate formalities to board our next flight. As we lined up to go through the formalities, I saw some policemen and some airport staff discussing, talking together. I wondered what they were talking about. And initially, I thought it was about our documentation or visas that they wanted to confirm. After a little time, I was told to step aside and allow others to go through the security check. At that time, I knew we could do our own security check easily. That means myself and the other woman. So I told her to wait for me while others can go through their security check. So policemen then asked me to follow them to their office. At this time, I still assumed it had to do with our documentation. So I brought all the documents relating to our trip and asked the woman to wait until I returned to the gate. They then took me to the office of the head of the police of the airport. And 3 police officers entered with me while about 12 others were outside looking at us through the door which was left open. Then the chief police officer asked me if I knew what offense I had committed. I wondered what the offense was and replied I had not committed any offense. Then they brought a man in as an interpreter who told me in English language that a lady had just accused me of sexual assault and the punishment was jail and I should be ready to go to jail. My first comments were,
let's keep going.
First comments were who, where, when, and how. Then they pointed to a lady who decided to hide her face behind another lady. When I tried to look at her direction, I told the interpreter I'd never seen the lady talk less of talking with her. The police chief then said, in our country, we believe the word of any woman as true.
What does that even mean? First of all, the lady was hiding. Why are you hiding if you truly, you're accusing somebody of sexual assault? You shouldn't be hiding. If you have the liver to say to your police that somebody did something to you, why can't you show your face? And who says that in their country they believe any word of a woman as true? What? Because women don't lie?
And that means with or without evidence, you are guilty. He then said there was a video evidence. When I heard that there was a video evidence, I was relieved and I requested for the video evidence.
Okay, I want to stop here to quickly say something. I think it's really important, when the police said that there was video evidence, and this is for future travelers, if ask for evidence for what you've done, and they've said that there's video evidence, always ask to see that evidence.
He later said there was no need for video evidence because it will make me miss my flight unless I agreed to their offered solution. I made it clear that if they had any video evidence, they would not find me there. But I'd been at the business class lounge for 3 hours and I had an alibi among my pilgrims who was there with me in the lounge till we left for the gate. Then they said there was a witness, and immediately a young man came forward who stated that he was a witness to the assault. I asked him where and when, but there was no answer. The police chief then said that since there was a witness, I could only go if I accepted the solution he would offer. I asked what was the solution. He then said, I must apologize to the lady in a way that she will accept. I then asked, how do I apologize for what I had not done? He insisted that if I did not apologize, I shall be charged to court.
Court, law. So, this is where I was even confused with this story, is if truly she was sexually assaulted, why would they just want an apology? Why would an apology be enough for a thing like sexual assault? Like, it makes zero sense. Let's go.
I then tried to look in the direction of the lady, who was still hiding her face behind another lady, and said, lady, I have never met you. I have no idea of what you are talking about. But possibly someone else has attacked you and you mistook me for the person. Nevertheless, Sorry to you if you're offended. Anyway, but let it be known that I have no idea of what you are saying. The police chief then turned to a man who was said to be her boss if my apology was accepted, and he said it was okay. The police chief then said I should follow him to another office.
Wait, is this Nollywood? Are Egyptians now getting into Nollywood because the boss said it was okay, so apology accepted? But it's not finished. It's not finished. Let's keep watching.
And leave my hand luggage behind. I objected to that idea by saying I cannot leave my bag behind because the rule of every airport is that passengers must always be with their luggage.
So this is really important. If you're a new traveler, it's very important that when you're traveling, never lose sight of your luggage. Make sure your luggage is always with you. Why? Because people can tamper with it. They can set you up, put drugs in it, and anything in your luggage, as in, you will be responsible for. So never ever leave your hand luggage out of your sight. It has to be in your sight, and don't let anybody else pack anything for you. So it was very wise that he refused to do this, and he stated very clearly that this is the reason why he will not do that. I think it's very important to know what the rules are, and I think it's an excellent show of it. And I also think one of the things I'll take from this video is how confident is really, if you're speaking the truth, be confident in your approach. Silence, I think, doesn't work. Be confident and let people know clearly, yes, no, to everything.
I cannot leave my luggage behind. Around this time, I began to discern that they were up to something. They were trying to look for every means to set me up. When we got to the other office, I was asked to wait outside. When the police chief and other officers entered, at this time, I told myself that if these people succeeded, there was no way to free myself. I was totally isolated from my pilgrims, who were supposed to be boarding the next flight. And I could not understand their conversation, which you were making in Arabic. I then picked up my phone, pressed the record button, and kept the phone back in my pocket, at least.
Okay, this is extremely valuable. I think what he did here was excellent, right? Whenever you're in a situation where, again, I'm sure if you didn't record this, down the line, the airport officials or whoever might change the story, right? So whenever you find yourself in a situation whereby you feel people are trying to do something against you, always find a way to covertly record them, because that is going to be your only evidence of what happened. So excellent tip again.
That will be my only evidence in the future. After a while, I was invited into the office and I was asked to come and sign a document they had prepared in Arabic. I refused to sign because I told them I did not know what they had written.
Another point here, if anyone provides any document to you that is not in a language that you understand, do not sign it. Your signature is heavy. It means a lot. It means you've approved to whatever is written. Do not sign it, ever. And make sure, even if it's in English or a language you can understand, make sure you understand every single line of it and you agree to it. Don't just whistle over it. So excellent again, moved by him, refusing to sign a document that is not in a language that he understands.
That would be stupid of me as an educated person. They said if I did not sign, I will go to jail. They said it does not matter, that what they actually wrote was just a settlement. And I still said no. To the glory of God, I have spent over 25 years of my life studying up to PhD level. I cannot sign what I do not know. The police chief then got angry and shouted me down and said, "You will miss your flight and I will detain you and charge you to court." The following morning, I then said to him, if God says I will go to jail for an offense I did not commit, so be it.
So another point here, the police chief was threatening him that he would miss his flight as a way to, convince him to sign. Another advice here for travelers out there, don't allow anyone to use a threat to make you do anything, right? Because in the end, it's going to be used against you and permanently against you. You don't want a criminal record. You don't want to just it's really important that you stand your ground in circumstances where you did absolutely no wrongdoing. Really, really important.
But I will not sign unless I know what was written. Then the so-called interpreter offered to read the contents of my hearing. And I told him I could not trust his reading.
Again, so the interpreter, again, doesn't work for the Nigerian man. He works for the airport or Egypt's officials or whoever. So him offering that, okay, don't worry, I'll be the one to translate it for you, is not good enough. Let it be written. Let it be what you're signing, not what you're hearing. You're not signing what is being the air that is being spoken. You're signing a document. So again, don't be convinced by people that are not for you. Again, the interpreter does not work for you. They work for Egypt Air or not Egypt Air or Egypt Airport. So smart of him again not to feel compelled to agree to that.
Instead, I could only sign if they could rewrite it in English.
Precisely.
When they began to pressure me, I took the biro and wrote below the Arabic write-up, I do not know. I plan to write below, I do not know what was written above, but I am compelled to sign this document. Therefore, I am not aware of the contents above. But when they saw me writing, I do not in English, one of the officers snatched the biro from me and shouted me down. The police chief then insisted if I did not sign, I would miss my flight, which should have taken off, and they would detain me and charge me to court the following morning. Then an idea came to my mind. Since I succeeded in writing, I do not below the Arabic, it speaks volume. So I picked the biro again and wrote my surname. While doing that, the desk manager of the check-in counter came in and talked to them in Arabic like magic. They handed over my passport to me and asked him to take me to the aircraft. I did not understand the magic words that effected my release until I got to the tarmac. Right at the foot of the aircraft, I saw all my 27 pilgrims standing at the entrance of the aircraft. They had refused to board the plane unless their leader was released. Against all pleas and threats, even from the pilot, who told them he would take off without them, they refused to enter the aircraft unless their leader was released. Now I know that was my saving grace. The refusal of 27 persons who had already checked in to enter the plane frustrated their plots. That was the report the desk manager brought to this syndicate at their airport. They would have succeeded if I were traveling alone.
Wow. So I think one of the biggest lessons here is the power of being in solidarity, right? The power of numbers, the power of people coming together and sticking together. I think it's important as Nigerians. This should cause an uproar. I'm so glad that the 27 other passengers that he was taking to a man, basically said, no, we're not entering this plane until our leader is here. Because as he said, that was the only reason why the desk of check-in manager came to get him. Otherwise, who knows? He might be in court, he might be charged, he might be in jail today. Sickening.
What they will have achieved if there were no people that I was traveling with, they will have succeeded in making me miss my flight and extort me. I am still traumatized by that event, wondering what will have happened, what else will have happened if there were no other passengers with me. No doubt, this could have happened to many other persons who would have been charged to court for wrong accusations or ended up being extorted by this syndicate in that airport. I decided to make this video to expose the evil plots going on in many African airports against Nigerians. Kindly share this video with all your friends and your brothers so that they can know what goes on. We need to be more careful with these people. Please do your best to make it go viral. You might be saving another person from such embarrassment by exposing the evil schemes in some of these airports. May God save us from evil men. Amen. And amen.
Gosh, guys, that is horrific. I really hope you guys shared this video with other people out there, because who knows how many other people were not as strong as him to remain steadfast. I can imagine if you're a new traveler, and it's your first time traveling out of Nigeria, and you pass, you experience this, you might be inclined to just accept to sign a document. You might just be defeated because you don't know what is right, what is wrong to do. But I really hope his experience, his approach, and his story really speaks to Nigerians out there not to tolerate rubbish. I think it's time for the world to understand that not all Nigerians are bad, but this is even evil because somebody is setting out clearly. Why? To plot against an innocent man. Why? I genuinely do not understand that. That is actually sickening. Again, if you have experiences flying through Cairo International Airport, or if you had similar experiences at other airports, please, share your story in the comment section. But I also think this is a reminder that it's important for you to create your own YouTube videos or your own videos and share your experiences in detail. And if you have evidence, share it with the bodies, share it with our Minister of Aviation, share it with all the aviation bodies in Nigeria to actually take it up. Because it's one thing to just say, on the side, on a DM, oh, this happened to me. It's another thing to actually put it out there and share it publicly. I feel like media is so powerful these days, and if we want change on us is to speak out loudly about that change that we want. Let me know your thoughts on this man's experience. Again, I think it's absolutely sickening what they did to him. Absolutely sickening. Like, I can't imagine that happened to family members and friends, or even myself. No, disgusting. Again, share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and amplify this video. Share it with your friends and family. Yes, I'm just so flabbergasted that this happened. And I'm sure it happens more often than not, because so comfortable the approach with which they conducted this. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you all on my next video.